Hello, hello, hello. How are you going, Michael? And welcome to this special session with you today. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hopefully you are also doing fine.
No, I'm doing great. Just came back from Sydney trip uh, to back in Dallas, so it's great going. And I do have plans to go around a few other countries, which we can talk later. So with no further delay, I'd like to introduce Michael. Michael is based out of Germany and Frankfurt, close to Frankfurt, and he can tell little exact where you are. Yeah, last year when I visited Frankfurt, I got an opportunity to see him again, second time, and then he took me to his factory, HAHN Automation, and yeah, it was beyond my expectation. The kind of work he and his team is doing, the kind of equipment they're making from ground up, from every time they make, somebody come with a new requirement, they have to build it from the scratch, from the drawing to putting together and 3D picture, and then finally working model. So it was eye-opening for me. A lot of automation, and things are happening very fast, and this was good. Thank you for that tour. It was good.
Yeah, maybe to introduce a little bit of myself. So I'm doing project management now for more than 25 years. In HAHN Automation, we are building special equipment for assemblies. So a customer comes to us with a product and say, hey, I need 30,000 of this product per month, and then we build a machine for it. The company is close to Frankfurt, but right now I'm at home in my home office. You see outside, sun is shining, and my home office, it's because Europe is a little bit smaller. It's close to Frankfurt, French and Luxembourg, so it's this triangle. So it's a very intercultural area where I'm living.
Yeah, great. So, and you said you are working in HAHN Automation for last 9 years, which is lots of experience in the same company, and then previously you worked for another company for 17 years, steel making company.
It's sounding always a long time, but also at HAHN Automation, also at the company before, it was ThyssenKrupp. Yes, I was in one company, but this company is so big and you're doing so different things. So also in the last years at HAHN Automation, we grew the entity where I'm sitting from 200 people to 700. I built up a business in Mexico in between. We had a lot of projects worldwide. So there are always a lot of things to do. It's not doing 9 years the same topic. And that's a good thing at project management. You always have new things to do.
Yeah, that's it. You are always getting some idea, or somebody come to you with the idea, and you are the one making it reality. You make it possible.
So, and once it's a machine, or it's a new entity we build up, or it's all a project. It's always something new, as per definition of a project.
Great. And other important thing which I should not forget, that last year you completed your PgMP on 1st of September 23, right?
Yeah, it was a challenge, but yeah, it was good to make it.
Yeah, finally you made it. You have been very busy at the time, and the China visit, and other things were happening. You are yourself very busy. Look, so that's the quality of a good project program manager. You need to prioritize, right time, prioritize, and get the things done. And that's what you did. So other thing I like to share with everybody, like I just 2 days ago I completed my 500 PgMPs. It's a milestone I have been waiting for. It's not at my end. It's actually one of the milestone, and next milestone probably 1,000 and 5,000 or 50,000. Who knows? And I can see a lot of people in the group. They already have taken my mentorship, or they are in the process. They're going to help me to achieve more, get more PgMPs. My journey started 2009, and very slow progress. Now I'm getting around 50, 60, 70 PgMPs per year. So I'm hoping my target for this year is around 100 PgMP, which is a little bit optimistic, but I know with a lot of initiatives happening. Another thing is I have released mock exam set for PgMP, and soon I'm going to release an app which is in the process of getting finalized. But the 9 mock exams are already available. In case anybody is preparing, going for the exam, you can try using those 9 mock exams. They are on my website. Anyway, to talk a little bit about PgMP journey, and then we'll talk about the questions I have received. So tell me a little bit about PgMP and how PgMP is going to help you in your current role, because you are a director of project management in HAHN Automation. You're already doing great things, but how is it going to help you having this certificate?
Now, first of all, it was a big difference to the PMP I did before.
Yeah.
So it was more challenging, at least. The big challenge also is when you're doing project management or program management for a long time, to compare it then with the theory. Because in theory, sometimes it's not like in real life, so you have to differentiate. But working through the theory, I always could rely on my actual daily work and find solutions for the topics I have in my daily work. And this was, even during the training, very helpful. And also with all the knowledge I gained, I was able to improve some processes in my company concerning programs we have running right now. So it was really very helpful for me and for my job.
Yeah. And any challenges you faced during PgMP, and how did you overcome them?
The one thing I can advise everybody: start early in life with this kind of stuff, because when you get older, it's harder to learn. So it was really a topic. Getting things to my head was much easier 10 years ago for the PMP than this time. And then just walk through it and for me, it was very helpful not just to read the books. It was much more helpful to understand the form of questions and answers, what was really required, because at least for me as a non-native speaker, it was sometimes hard to understand the questions, what they are targeting. So for me, it was much more important to train with questions than with a book.
Yep. No. Look, I'm very happy you got one out, and second one should be done very soon. So look, it's not just age. You know, I think that when you get into the PG and portfolio and program management, your age actually is helpful, because you can see things from different perspectives. It's not just project, it's a program, it's a portfolio. And your vision, your view is very different than just a project manager. And I'm not saying just a project manager doing the great thing, but as a program manager, you're managing multiple interdependent projects. And that's where you're doing at the moment. When we had discussion during my meeting with you and HAHN Automation, I was amazed, and the way you are handling these things and kind of automation, not only the work, but also you bring your automation in your project management. That's another important thing to note.
Maybe to put it a little bit in perspective, right now it's more like a portfolio what I'm responsible of. So when you look to all entities we have, I have now in my portfolio around about 400 projects running in parallel. So here you really have to prioritize and check. So you cannot know each project and program at its own. So, and that's very helpful to keep the overview.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you. So let's get started. I have questions, and let me start with the question number 1. How can your senior manager and leadership team be equipped to make better strategic decisions? And the follow-up question on that is, what tools can your organization utilize to compete effectively in the competitive market?
Okay, I think first of all, it's very important to understand that you can only decide things you don't know, because if you know, or if you can predict things, you don't need a decision. So you just do it. Yeah. So you can only decide things you don't know. So the first step you need to make is to be clear what you want. So what is your goal? What is maybe also the topic you need to decide, and why do you have to decide it now? Or can it maybe wait till you have more information? So that's something you have to be clear about at first hand. And another very important step at the first is, I call it the Highlander principle. There's only one. There can only be one priority number 1, And if you decide something, you automatically decide against all other options. So when you start to, okay, I can do this, but maybe also a little bit of that, and so on, it will not work. You must be clear. When you decide something, you focus on one thing, not on two at the end. Then also before you decide, you have to gather information. First of all, you need to know where are you, what is the status of your project, and so on. But also you need to know where are the others. So because you're not alone in this world, so you have to do your stakeholder analysis. You have to check the environmental factors and all the stuff to make a proper decision. But you also should keep in mind you will never have all informations. So you have to check for good enough. So if you have enough information, then make your decision. You will not have all, never. And also you should have no regret because there will be no bad decision. You should do the best decision with the information you have. And it's like buying a computer or something. When you bought a computer, don't look the next time to the internet and to the shop because it will be cheaper. Also, after a decision, you will be smarter afterwards. Make the decision with information you have. Then also, before you decide, you should think in scenarios. As I mentioned, you are not alone in the world. There are a lot of other people, and also they have a plan. Maybe their plans are different to yours. And it was quite interesting. I read a lot of ancient stuff, and there's a very famous book from Sun Tzu, The Art of War. I think it's very known about worldwide. And also when you read it, Sun Tzu, he does not make a plan. He draws a map. He shows, okay, where I am, what is the environment, what is the battlefield, where are the others, how they are equipped, what are their plans. And with this map, then he can decide, okay, now I'm here, the others are there, okay, what would be my next step? And then he can, again, look to the same map, okay, what changed on the map? And then he decide again. And he always decide on the topic at stage right now and decide for the most potential. So this potential situation he make a decision on. So he don't decide the whole way, he just decides the next step, and then he look to the map again, does something changed, or what is the situation right now? And also what helps is a little bit of experience. When you talked about tools, I think we come to this later on, also when we talk about the human situation against versus AI. Tools for me, it's very important to gather informations, to know where I am. I need an ERP system to know my numbers of the projects. I need PM tools to know where I am. For gather information, there are a lot of tools in the market and they are quite helpful. But I believe at the end, the most important thing to make a decision is a person. Because a person has needs, a person has feelings, and that's why you decide. You decide for a purpose. And normally a tool don't have a purpose. So that's why tools can help, but they should not decide, in my view.
Yeah, tools can only give you decision based on what input you provide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about.
With this input you provide, they can be biased. So.
Yeah, that's again another thing. The data you provide, the input you provide, or that can be biased by the way you want to see the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's important to have good tool and as well as good supporting data, and your thinking, strategic thinking, how it is going to.
But the tools can you give good unbiased information first of all of your situation, but then you have to analyze it. So there was an interesting topic once. We tried to implement a PM tool, and then a lot of PMs come to me, hey, the tool destroyed my project plan. No, the tool just showed the reality that there are not enough resources, and he just made a plan to fulfill the resource problems. So the tool does not destroy the plan, he just shows the reality, what resources are available or not. So a tool can be unbiased information, but then you have to make a decision based on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Why do people trust human judgment or algorithms? And how do anger poison decision making and problem solving mindset?
I will start with the second one because that's easier to answer. I collect a lot of sayings, so that's like a hobby. And there's one interesting saying: you cannot be angry and curious at the same time. And that's, for me, really the answer to this question. Because when you try to solve a problem, you should have an open mind to understand the situation and everything. But when you are angry, you have no open mind. You have like, you're focused on something. So anger narrows your view. So that's why it poisons your decision or problem solving process. So you cannot be angry and curious at the same time. It's very easy to remember.
Yeah.
Now the more difficult question, why maybe we trust more human judgment. Also here I have an interesting example. So it's like the self-driving car a little bit. It not really exists, but the car I have is already very sophisticated. It has a lot of gadgets and all this automatic stuff and so on. Nevertheless, all these systems are like 80 to 90% correct. So it's not always reading the right speed limit. Sometimes it's automatically braking, but there's nothing to brake for. So it's not 100% correct. So would you trust your life such a system? I have problems with that one. So also even if I maybe make more mistakes while driving my own, I trust my own driving skills even more this automatic system. And that's a topic wired a little bit in our human brain. So because we try, it's a perception of control and responsibility. So when I do a mistake and hit myself, then I can forgive myself because I was too stupid, so I get hurt. So okay, it was my problem. I caused it by myself. But if an external or a third party or also system make a mistake and I get hurt, that's much less forgivable than to do it my own. And that's also with a human judgment. When I do it my own, I can forgive myself, and I know why I'm deciding. And that's the next topic. It's transparency. We trust things we understand. So if you have a black box, you put something in, get something out, and you don't know why, it's hard to trust. Even if somebody else, as a person, is deciding, we already have a feeling, okay, how is his mood? What is his beliefs? So we have a feeling about this person, how this person works, and then we can judge a little bit his decision. But if you have like a black box, just a system, I put something in, get something out, it's hard to trust. So it's a lot about trust between algorithms and private personal judgments.
Yeah, you're right. Algorithm, we can have a lot of smart algorithms, but still we have more trust, or we still trust the human judgment, because the human brain is much faster, much smarter than any supercomputer at the moment, which is if utilized properly. That's another condition. If utilized properly, you can do more things, more advanced things. Yes, if we talk about calculation or writing good stories, or AI can do better than you, but judgment or your emotions. That's why while now a lot of people are relying on AI to do your job, do things, but at the end of the day, we come back to the human, interaction, the stakeholder engagement, relationship building. As a project manager, all these are very important.
This was also interesting. I remember now the statement from one of my teachers at university, and I was studying automation and electrical engineering, so a lot about robots and stuff. And he told me also in this times, it was a long time ago, he told me the human is the smartest self-reproducing automated system in the world. So, and he is true. So.
All right. Okay. So what are the best decision-making practices for building stakeholder trust and credibility?
Here, by far the first is be authentic. Also here, interesting Chinese saying, don't trust anyone whose belly doesn't move when he is laughing. So
sorry, repeat that for me.
Don't trust anyone whose belly does not move when he is laughing.
Okay, let me try now.
So you are who you are. yes, you can play somebody else, but at the end it will turn off. So if you say something and your body tells something else, nobody will trust you. So be authentic, be yourself. Even if you have some mistakes, people can live with it. So that's really the top priority for me. And the next thing is be consistent. Quite often I see project managers, when a project starts with a customer, they do everything for the customer to get a good relationship and so on. And then within the project, they see, oh, they realize, okay, I'm running out of money, I'm running out of budget. Then they start claiming for everything and changing their mood. And this will destroy any relationship. If you do it from the start on, say, hey, dear customer, I do everything for you, but please check, this is not in our scope. Let's talk about costs, let's talk about time and so on. If you do it straight from the beginning on, you can also build trust in a relationship, and you will not destroy it by doing something else and changing your strategy in between. Another important thing is transparency. Say what you do and do what you say. It's also, this builds trust. And sometimes it also helps if you manage the stakeholders' expectations. So don't only say yes. So if you cannot achieve it, tell them, say, hey, maybe I cannot achieve it next week, but if you give me a week more, you will get it. Be open and transparent. It's the easiest way, because in project management, at the end, it comes up anyway. So even if you try to be a little bit positive, even if you're delayed, at the end, there will be a line or a milestone, and at least then it comes up anyway. So it makes no sense to hide something. And also what helps very well is if you achieve your promised results, then it's easier to build a good relationship to your stakeholders. So, but the most important thing for me is authenticity. Be authentic. Say it like that.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very useful word. Be authentic, be yourself, and build the trustworthy relationship with your stakeholders, and that is why transparency, being transparent, you show them what they're expecting, and don't hide. Because the problem is, if you hide something and they come to know from other sources, then that's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem, when you're running a program or project, especially of a larger scale, things go wrong. And client and the sponsor, they do understand, they're doing it the best intention, but things may not be always the same what we decided. So keep them informed. And sometimes the stakeholders are cooperative. They say, okay, don't worry, we are together in this, and let's make it happen. Let's find the solution together. So,
and we got a very interesting feedback from one of our customers. We had a conference with all our project managers, invited a customer, and he explained, and it was quite interesting. He told us, hey, tell me all your problems you have. And when you come a week later, say, hey, I already solved it, then I see that you do something. If you just come up with problems and don't solve it because you just show me the biggest problems, then maybe I don't trust you. Give me all you have, and I see that you can solve something at your own. I'm glad. But maybe also I have to prepare my stakeholders, but tell me early about your problems. Don't hide it. But that's just one side of the medal, because I also know customers, they cannot live with it. When I tell them all my problems and all my issues, I will have workshops 24 hours a day solving something. So you have to check who can handle which information. But nevertheless, as long as you're transparent, or as long as a stakeholder has the feeling that you are transparent, I think maybe it's that, because then also you don't need to tell everything.
Yeah, and that's where the understanding about your stakeholders, analyzing who they are, what they need, and how they're positive, negative. The very basic information can be useful when you are engaging with stakeholders. As you correctly mentioned, you may be open and you're telling everything, but they are using it for different purpose. They are using that information against you. So you need to make a judgment. What amount of information to be shared, when to be shared, is he's the right person? And sometimes, as I mentioned, but many times when if you have relationship, look, it's not about the professional. Like sometimes you go a little beyond and find common ground, especially when you go out, not in the official environment, maybe go out for drinks or go out for dinner, coffee, and that's where people open up, and that's where you build relationship. And my suggestion is, try to find out more about them, and being authentic, right? But at the same time, you need to be careful about the stakeholder, who they are, and what the purpose of this conversation as well.
Yeah, you have to understand your counterpart and understand how many information he can digest.
Exactly.
Also, when quite often in discussions there's a thing, oh, we need more transparency, and then also a question for me would be, how much transparency you can live with? Do you want to know everything? So, and there's another statement also, you don't need to tell all the truth, but what you tell must be true.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that. You don't have to tell all the truth, but whatever you tell, it should be true. Yeah. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay. How can you use deadlines to increase productivity?
We showed the best example some minutes ago. We just publicly told everybody that I want to finish my PfMP. So it was it's a motivation. So deadline can be a motivation. And at least speaking for myself, I'm a little bit lazy. So I just do what I need to do. I just spend energy for things I need to do. Now you give me a reason to spend energy. And there's also a very common term. It's a student syndrome. I don't know, maybe some of you know. So it refers to the situation that a student just start as late as possible to prepare for exams and so on. So, and what
I see this every day.
Yeah. So, and that's a normal thing, and it helps already because starting late removes all backup you have. You have no buffers, nothing. You just have to finish. You have no time for gold plating. You have no excuse to ship. Oh, I have more time and maybe try a little bit more here, a little bit more there. No, you have a certain time. You have a little bit pressure also on you, and then it helps you to ship, and it decreases the time you need to deliver something because you're under pressure. The deadline will not move, and that's why deadlines can really help your productivity. And also, to say it again with one of my sayings, diamonds only created under pressure. So a little bit pressure helps sometimes, but diamonds can also break under pressure. So you have to find the right balance, not to start too late. So if the pressure you give to yourself or to somebody else with deadlines, if the pressure is too high, you will get the opposite from what you want. So it's a small path you have to decide on. So you really need a good feeling how to set your deadlines. And sometimes it helps really when you work with employees, let them set the deadlines. They ask him, hey, when do you want to finish? Not tell them I need it tomorrow. Ask him, and he say, okay, I do it in 2 days. It's fine with me, maybe. But then it was his deadline, and it's much better for him to reach it than to reach a deadline I gave him as a boss. And he is crazy anyway. It was not achievable anyway. But if he is setting his own deadline, it also motivates them.
Yeah. So you rightly said, instead of you putting pressure, you allow them to come up with their own deadlines as well, or allow them to make decisions. Especially, you have been working with them some time, and they are they have their own work ethics, they respect, and they get the things done. So you don't extra pressure on them. Yes, we have a deadline with the client, this machine to be shipped to this company by end of the month, and everybody's working towards that. That's your already known deadline. So creating that environment where everybody, they know the dates, but at the same time they're not feeling under pressure, because there's a very big difference, like very minor difference between pressure and passion.
Yeah.
So if you see this as a pressure, then people hate that work. If you create the passion in them, then they love, and they can get the things done much faster and more efficiently.
Yeah.
So
because it was their decision at the end, not an outside decision, and you work much more motivated for your own decisions.
Exactly, motivated for your own decision. If you can, and you correctly mentioned, you mentioned that you ask the worker to get them provide you the deadline, and you, okay, if it's within your expected time frame, you say okay, great, and let's work on it. And if you're struggling, come back to me, let me know what happened, and let's work on it together.
But it's important to set a frame before, because normally you're not on a white sheet of paper. You have some constraints, so this should be clear. But then gives them the freedom to decide. It's not also working always. Sometimes you have a deadline you cannot move. There could be also no decision if it's an external deadline. You cannot ask, oh, can we do it next month? No, we have to do it this month.
Yeah.
But if it's possible, ask your employees to set their own deadlines, and then hold them accountable to their deadlines.
Yep. Okay, I do have lots of audience questions, and I will go through them. And thanks for people who have given these questions us in advance. So that means Michael and I am a little bit more prepared. And any question coming now, we'll also take care of them. Let me go through this question. Richard, thank you for giving the question. And I will read the question for you. I'm curious to know about AI and project management at HAHN.
Yeah, so we are at the very beginning right now. So we are trying and testing and playing around a little bit, but we are just watching what's going on. So I have a lot of my PMs. They are using ChatGPT to write emails and answer some questions. So especially if you have to write some nasty emails also on, because, for example, I'm not so diplomatic, but sometimes you have to write a diplomatic email. So ChatGPT will help for that one. So that's the easiest topics. Nevertheless, we already set up a project to analyze the needs we have, because good and well-trained PMs are scarce on the market. So we have to get all the nasty work away from them. And now we are checking what this is. Is this maybe documentation, analyzing of documents, or what can we take away from the PMs so that they can focus? That's what we're analyzing right now. And I have a dream. I have a dream for a long time already, and that's predictive project management. And here, for the last years, when you go to trade fairs, everybody explains you about predictive maintenance. So they have tools analyzing data and then can tell you, okay, this machine will break next week, please do maintenance this week. So there are a lot of systems on. The topic is, at least for our machines, we don't own the data. The data is owned by our customers, so we cannot do this. But for my projects, as you mentioned, I'm now 9 years in the company. We have so many data in the ERP systems, in schedules, in emails. We have so many data. Analyzing this with AI and predict for the next project where there are some roadblocks, that would be a dream. So we are still working on it, but I think it's still a long way for that.
Yeah, and coming back to this ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, it's a very useful tool, and I have used it for some of the purposes. But it is also depend again how you ask the question, how you provide as input. If you provide them no information, it will give you something, definitely. But it may not be the way you want to see. Or if you provide starting information, write instructions, this is the kind of email you like. Sometimes you also tell, I like to see a friendly email. Then they convert whatever you're writing into the friendliest email, or if you want to say it is a professional email to this, then accordingly the change happen, which is good, So use all the tools we have been getting or lucky to have this as a tool, and use them effectively, efficiently, and provide the right data, right instructions, and you will get a phenomenal result, very exciting result out of that.
I would even rephrase it a little bit. What we really have to learn now using ChatGPT is we have to learn to describe our problem.
Yeah.
That's something we really have to learn. If you describe it correctly, then you get a correct answer. So with your problem description, you bias the system somehow. So you have to be very careful.
Exactly. Yeah, and it is very powerful system, and it can help you, but only if you ask the right way, right instructions. Great, thank you. And my next question: how algorithms help in decision making versus human judgment?
I think we just discussed it already a little bit. And my topic is with algorithms. It looks like it's a little bit like in sports. So in sports, if everybody is using the same tactic, it does not give you an advantage. So if everybody is using the same decision-making algorithm, so what? What did you gain? Nothing. So that's why the human judgment comes into play again to make the difference. So the question is, do you build your own algorithm to decide and put all your knowledge and all your feelings in it, or you use a standard algorithm? I think that's also something we should keep in mind.
Anyway, so I still have a few more questions, so let me go through those questions. Which decision should be taken when labor resists to work? What should an executive do? Take action against him or compromise?
That's a very good question, but here I have to answer like a good lawyer. It depends. So I think it's very important to understand why this employee don't want to do the work. So is he not able to? Is he angry with his boss? Has he any other reason? Is he late? I don't know. And I think that's the most important thing. Understand why, and then you can make a proper decision what to do.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so the resistance can be there again. We need to know underlying decision reason behind that. Sometimes we have to react, but most of the time, sometimes you should take time to understand why some people are resisting, or what else you can do to smoothen the conflict. If you can, there are conflict management techniques mentioned in PMBOK. You can utilize them, and maybe get somebody to come in between your management, or somebody who can help you in this. Yeah, as you rightly said, you have to be careful situation to situation, and what you do in that situation depends on many factors. Whether you take disciplinary action, or whether you guide them or provide them more training, more support. Maybe they need some support. Talk to them. All right, question I have is, can you please explain more about predictive project management?
It's just my dream. So I want to have a system which sees, okay, so here now you're a little bit late, you don't get an answer from your customer, it's this customer, this PM. Hey, please look to this program, maybe there's a problem. So so that's the dream, just combining patterns and checking that's the situation, that's the customer, that's the team, that's the environment, and getting all together and give me an early warning where to take a look at. As I mentioned, I have like 400 projects and programs running in parallel. I cannot look at everything, but if somebody pops up, it would be nice if it would be a right topic to dig deeper.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, we talked about this system VXDCC last year as well. Yeah. And this has predictive algorithm and predictive project management by looking at the data and how it is going, help you in risk identification, risk management, issue management, and based on how you're going, tell you some trend, and give you some decision making, business intelligence. Yeah. So you may like to revisit that platform, or anybody who's interested, happy to talk about that. We call it VXDCC, as very it's a real-time, fully automated system with all other information you can find it together, including your sales, your project management, program management, portfolio management, resource management, supply chain management, everything in one place.
Anyway. Maybe an interesting remark from my IT colleague, because right now AI is a real buzzword. Everything needs to have AI.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just about process automation. So you don't need always AI to solve a problem. Sometimes it's just to have a chatbot, a bot, or whatever. It's not necessarily AI driven. It's just a process automation. So Also here we should be a little bit open. Maybe even if it's not AI inside, it's still working for your purpose. So
yeah, yeah. Something which can give you some helping hand, some information which is trustworthy information. That's what your dashboard kind of information. If you see them, then help you to automate a lot of things within your project management. All right, let me take another question. How can project managers effectively balance data-driven decision making with a need for human judgment and intuition?
also here, it depends, but a kind of split for me would be everything what's concerning technical topics, finance topics, I would base on data. So you can analyze your accounts, you can analyze your spendings, you can analyze your machine, how it's running, how many errors you have. That's data driven. Decisions on humans, I would have more intuition and so on, because I don't want to make a deep data analysis of my girlfriend. So as to speak again. So that would be a rough guidance maybe, and then you have to find your way in between. So everything that's people related, I would more listen to my heart than to my brain.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. We'll talk about how to best manage up in a conflict.
Again, it depends on the conflict. Also here, I do a lot of conflict management. So I'm just handling the bad projects. But also here, my experience is, and that's also I'm openly communicating customer when I go there. He is setting the rules. So again, to do it in sport, we can make a friendly game, or we can really make a derby, and he is really pushing me. So if he is pushing me, I push back. If we have a reasonable talk, I talk reasonable. Yeah. So it's a little bit giving and taking. So I don't go always there and just with the same approach. First of all, listen to the problem, listen to the situation. But if he is pushing you and even fight against the rules or outside rules, then show him that you can do this also. And then quite often they understand.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next question I have. How is the emotional intelligence of team taken into consideration in critical high sensitive program embracing AI?
Good question. Here I have to really be transparent. I'm not deep enough in AI to give you an answer to that one. I don't know.
Yep, fair enough. But yeah, we can talk about emotional intelligence.
But maybe coming back to this trust topic we discussed with the stakeholders before, this could be also a topic you always can also say, I don't know. So don't try to give answers. If you don't know, tell him. Don't give him wrong answers. Tell them that you don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so this is it from my side and all the questions we have from the audience. Have the PDU code, and if you are interested, you have a discount code as well for joining my program in Berlin or group mentoring program or personal mentoring program. Please use that. That will save you some money. And you also know that there's an app will coming, but exam simulator is also available for you. So if you are preparing for exam, use this 9 mock exam. I think it's very good source for you to get prepare for the exam. And yeah, anything you need from me or anything, I'm sure Michael, while he's busy, he's open for getting any questions. If you have, please feel free to message him on LinkedIn if you are already connected, or connect with him or connect with me, and or book my time. Actually, you can book my time, 15-20 minutes. We can have discussion about your needs, about project, program, portfolio management, or any certification you're looking for. I will be happy to talk about it. All right.
It was a very good topic. So also you can find me on LinkedIn. If you have any issue, contact me or Dharam. Maybe I will not answer directly a day after, but you will get an answer.
Definitely. I know you're a busy man, but I'm sure you will reply back, and you will be supporting the people around the world, which is, that's the purpose of this this webinar, is to share the knowledge and share with as many people as we can, and keep building a knowledge pool. So just like this webinar, guys, if you have liked it, so there are many, I think more than 200 webinars are already recorded. You can go to my webinar YouTube channel, watch them and learn from them. Some of the webinar can also give you PDUs, especially the last 1 year. And more webinars are coming as we speak. You know, there are I think 5 or 6 already lined up. So keep an eye on the upcoming webinars and keep learning. All right.
Yeah, I can really prove that. Yeah, it's a lot of, it's challenging, but it's also a lot of fun. So, but it's just like it need to be. So,
yeah. So look, thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to have you here, and the way you answer the questions. And it is hard work to come to this, to this kind of platform to prepare and read and learn, analyze, and also to answer the audience questions. So thank you for your time and contribution. I'm hoping to see you in Berlin next month. And some of you in the audience, please come and join my Berlin program if you can. So once again, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Michael, and I will see you again very soon. Till that time, take care and enjoy yourself.